You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this shiny little orb we call Earth. Hello, welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you. Of course I'm live. I have no legal name. Criticalmassradio.co.uk. And here we are on the 2 for Tuesday for the first show, first table setting. And always an interesting day, these Tuesdays, because you get an opportunity to kind of do a sum up of things and what have you. I'm at a point now where on Tuesdays I really don't know what to say, especially in the early show, because, well, other than not being awake for too long, you know, I actually spend a lot of time in the wee hours where it's the quietest for me to contemplate things. So I don't typically arise too early, as in the 7 or 8 a.m. I'm usually up by around 9 or 10, though. But anyway, sometimes a little later. Just depends on how late I was up the night before, or sometimes till 5 or 6 in the morning. And that's not because I want to be. It's just because that's where I am. But anyway, enough all about me. Won't you get a load of me? How about you? Let's talk about you, because you're perfect. That's what I like talking about. Let me see. Where do I want to go? That's right. I was on Facebook. I just seen a share by Wayne here. I just want to get into this. We're going to really nail a couple of things home today, I think, with regards to those that might want to gather in large groups, say as protesters or, you know, demonstrators or whatever the case may be, to get you properly armed up. Yeah, no, you want to do your thing, go do your thing. When you truly know who you are, you don't need to protest. You just change the world with your mind, literally. But if you feel the need to drag a physical meat stick around to doing all these different little things, providing more energy for the things that you're fighting, because the illusion is thinking you need to fight, here you might as well take some real truth with you while you're at it. And the real truth being you're not the legal name. So just a little pointer, and I'll get into a bit more detail on this if I have to, really. It's quite simple. If you're going to go out and do any form of protesting, you might as well put on your bulletproof monk armor called Truth by sitting and contemplating for maybe 10 or 15 minutes prior to going out to do these things, and get to the real understanding that you are not the legal name. So leave all your ID and all concepts of that fake paper name behind. And if anyone asks you for a name, of course, it's going to be instantly assumed legal name. Instantly. You know, someone in a uniform says, "Oh, I need some ID." Sorry, I don't do the ID thing. I'm not an id entity. I'm actually living. How about I just remind you that I'm standing here in front of you, doofus? How about the fact that anything that I would have in a piece of paper can't talk to you, doofus? So what is the absolute reason as to why you need to get a piece of paper, doofus? And I'm going to tell you, doofus, why? Because without that, you can't get any soul contract payment. That's why you're called commissioned officers, out collecting commissions. You know, soul raping, basically. Let's just call it what it is. You see, because every time anyone asks for a legal name, specifically asking for a legal name, not be confused with a friend that says, "Hey, how's it going?" and uses that typical calling that is yours, but has been confused with a legal name, and it's that confusion that keeps people spinning. Learn the difference. It's quite simple. No legal name, no game. The vampires and werewolves can't come into my house. And I'm talking my spiritual temple. They can't rape and pillage and drain off my soul anymore. That's why they're doing crazy things in Vancouver, like wanting to fine homeless people $10,000. Yeah, this is how desperate these guys are. That's a vampire scraping the very bottom of the barrel. You know, last week it was, drugs and prostitutes being added to the UK economic numbers. That's some serious low ground feeding, don't you think? And what's happening here is more and more of us awaken and recapture our pure soul well, you're going to start to see how much power you as a pure soul are giving. And I know there are not that many that fully get this concept, but look at what's happened. The few that have got this concept to this level, the pure, that cannot be fed on any longer, has relegated the system vampires down to the bottom of the barrel almost overnight. So now we're talking, if you can understand the idea of soul energy, the more awake someone is, the more powerful their soul, the more they will get drained unknowingly, based on the fact that they don't know who they are and they've been attached to a curse, if you will, through the Narmer palette using the legal name. You see, everything here is about contract. That which you agree with in thought, you're in contract with. If you think that that's a good idea, then you have accepted it in your reality. If you think being drained, your soul being drained and all of your life source and, giving full access to others to just come and rape and pillage you is a good idea, well, then keep using the legal name. I was trying to think of a way to explain this where people could really, really let this sink in. So I'm going to try to play the devil's advocate here. All I need to do is get you to admit to being something that I know controls you. And I'm the one holding the control, okay? Just keep this in mind. I'm the one holding the control. This is kind of the way I'm going to describe this metaphorically. So I'm the one holding all of the control, and all I need to do is get you to agree to one thing, which gives me full access. It's your spirit, soul, whatever you want to refer to your consciousness as. This is your the password to be able to get in and drain you. How willing would you be to give me that password? I would say probably not at all. That's what the legal name is. It's a password to your soul. And the mere fact that you consent to use it, and I'm talking in paper sense here. Remember, separate things from the living and the dead paper world, okay? Excuse me, this is the paper sea, the holy sea, that's full of holes. Know the difference. If the name is on a piece of paper, it is not you. So stop thinking that it is, because the mere fact that you think that it is, thanks. I'm going to use that password and I'm going to drain your soul into oblivion. How do you like me now? You want to stop doing that maybe? It's a good thing I'm benevolent because I'm not interested in that. But that's exactly what the legal name is in terms of the ethereal soul trap. The legal name is a soul trap. It's the one key that locks you into your cage, and it's the one key that opens it, lets you out, so you can turn around and lock the door behind you so that nothing will ever come near you again. And until you start experiencing this magic for yourself, as so many of us have, come to the table anytime. You'll hear people tell their magic stories. And we're not talking the science magic. We're talking the real stuff. We're talking having the eyes to see this reality in such a beautiful way that has been kept from humanity for so very long. We've been kept deluded and duped into thinking magic comes out of science. Oh, look, free energy. Oh, look, anti-grav. Oh, look, UFOs. Oh, look, Imagine having an anti-grav vehicle. I'm going to get real literal for a sec here. An anti-grav vehicle. And you travel through time. Right? You pick a point in time and you go to it, and it's people in the Dark Ages. Okay? Just think of, say, medieval England, for example. And you show up with an anti-grav car with your really funky, duds that you're wearing right now. Do you think the people would consider you anything equal? Or maybe they might look at you as being, I don't know, a god. Because you have this magic car that flies around, apparently. But given the awareness that we're at right now, that's all very real, and it's just a physical effect. It's not a cause. The spirit is the cause. The creation aspect is the cause. Sorry, you can't have an anti-grav vehicle without the concept coming from the spirit in the first place. To think of one. And here we are as humanity being at total effect to crazy things that, free energy, you are all power in the universe. You have access to that. You just have to accept it. And to the level that you're willing to accept your own responsibility is the level of the power that you get given back. Because the last thing that you want, we have enough children running around, adults, you might want to call them that. I call them, I was there. So, again, when I say this, I'm calling myself this, a previous version of me in a different timeline this. A bunch of children running around playing the physical gimme game. So caught up in the matrix of the physical and the physical comforts and whatever. Which is not a very spiritual place to be, because you're at total effect to the effect. So me and, quite a few others now just decided that we've had enough of that, and we decided to take back the responsibility. So these children running around, imagine a totally irresponsible, bratty child, typical adult in the human world today, and you hand them an Uzi. They have no concept of responsibility whatsoever. Anything ticks them off, they just shoot it and blow it away. Would you give that kind of a personality that Uzi? Hell no. Neither would creation. So don't expect to be handed any power until you get a grip on your own responsibility and your own self. We are only granted the tools and the, quote, powers, unquote, that we can accept responsibility for the outcome of. In the simple fact that everything that you do as a cause, not only affects another, but because you have affected another, that has a causal effect on you. So it is a mirror effect that can get exponential very quickly. Think of a time where you were talking with someone and you said something, you meant it entirely a different way, and they took it because of programming. This is how duped humanity is, and we all got hit with it. So don't think that this is picking on anybody in particular. I got hammered with it too. But imagine saying something to someone you had a completely different intent for, but because of their limited access to their own reality, they take it all the wrong way. Everyone's had this situation. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Jesus, what do you? No, this is. But there's no talking to these people. There was a time that I've done that. There's a time that you've done that. And there was no talking to you. There was no reasoning with you. Because you were caught up in the emotional reaction and played out that drama. And of course it escalates to a point where you either resolve it or you end up stomping away, or in some cases some people get physical about this shit. There's some people you look at the wrong way and they want to kill you. That's how insecure they are of their own spirit. That's how meat stick stuck they are. Violent people are incredibly meat stuck. They haven't, that's if they have a soul, but they haven't even come into contact with their heart at that point. And everything is running through the programmed mind. It's not a good place to be. That is consciousness without soul or without heart. Terminator type thing. Bioborg. And we have a few of those kicking around on the planet now. But anyway, just start to see the reality of accepting responsibility. You will be given the power and cause that you can accept responsibility for in all of your thoughts and actions. I have often said, if you were given the power of bringing everything you thought into your reality, could you handle it? I'm going to let you think on that for a sec. Okay. Anyone that said yes, you need to do a real close psychoanalysis of yourself, because you are running psychopathic tendencies. Go ahead. Think one bad thought and that manifests. Someone pisses you off and you wish them dead. And they are. You see what I'm saying? Can you handle that kind of responsibility? Do you have that much control over your emotions, your ego? Are you that objective that you can be neutral? Or are you going to be subjective and get involved emotionally? Can you look at things from an objective viewpoint of neutral and saying, I'm going to stay the course here. That is not my concern. And that is not my concern could be anything. I need to save my family. I need to save my friends. I need to do this. I need to do that. And shut up. No, you don't. You need to save yourself. Because the magic in that, as I've come to realize in my own reality, and others have too, but I'm sharing what's true to me. You take whatever resonates with you. Don't believe a word I say, ever. Don't believe anything anyone says, ever. Trust no one. Only trust yourself. Because the deceivers are everywhere. That I know. I found quite a few. And they keep showing up. And the more awake we get, the more the deceivers want to show up. And that's okay, because they're very easy to spot now. Very easy to spot. Because I can feel them. Certain things start to manifest in my reality. Much like last night. There was something in my reality. I figured it out. It's all good. And as soon as I did, poof, all of that feeling like shit energy left. But it took a little bit to go through and cancel out a bunch of things. And that's the work I do on myself. To the degree that I accept someone else's reality is the degree that I can be brought in to that reality where it's not mine and be affected by it. So I remain objective. And this is a constant vigilance game, guys. This is not you figure it out and it's all good and that's it. No. It's constant vigilance. Once you figure out the legal name thing, no one in the system can ever come near you again. Once you really know this, I know, it's just so hard to believe. This is the problem that I'm running into with people. Well, it can't be that easy. Yeah, it is. Even a 7-year-old got it. Okay? We got a bunch of 6-year-olds. That's the UK. We got a bunch of 6-year-olds and other children in the US that get it. No names here, mate. You're excused. Okay? And it really is that simple. And the instant you say it with a smile on your face, no, I don't do the legal name thing, man. You're still doing that ID thing? You're still caught in the id entity? Start making fun of these jokers. Stop trying to debate with them. You're debating with a fucking program. A very well-trained program. This gets drilled into these guys and girls. Oh, and they are trained liars like you would not believe. If I get to my storage unit, I'm going to pull out one of the training manuals I've got in terms of how to make a liar out of you. A convincing liar. You know, you've probably heard the good cop, bad cop. Well, there's no such thing. They're both assholes. That's just a ruse that gets used to get you to think in a certain way, to get you to speak in a certain way, so that you can eventually, and you will, entrap and enslave yourself. Yeah, lots of compassion there, huh? No, you can't debate with psychopathy. And the program they're running is pure psychopathy. Greed, lust, wanting to create harm, lies. Is that a compassionate state of mind? Well, that's what you have with the uniforms. They're trained into that. I've talked to too many ex-police. Yes. We have them show up on the table here. Amy and have Pa, and I'm trying to think. There's a couple more in my Skype contacts. And we've had them on the air as well. Others. Cops that awoke to what was going on, broke their programming. And I'll tell you, the ones that have any sense of compassion or ethics at all will never advance in the police because they don't want that. They want somebody that can be a conditioned Bioborg monkey. That can you can hold a carrot up in front of them called money or whatever, bonuses, And they'll chase it, regardless of who they harm to get there. And what people are starting to understand now, as soon as you know who you are, that program gets broken. And this is where so much doubt comes into people. Because here's the thing: when people have this fear thing, it's an imaginary molehill, and give someone 5 minutes, and they can turn that into a real mountain in their reality. That's what I mean about scripting and the what ifs. Well, here, let me give you this scenario. No, I'm going to tell you what. How about you fucking don't? How about you shut your mind down for a second here? And how about you just accept that all things are perfect? And as soon as you accept all things, good or bad, whatever the case may be, in order for you to get your lesson, to find your contrast, the better. You see, the heart of all creation cannot accept you until you accept it, the itself, the all. See, I'm not one of the Luciferians that has the arrogance thinking that I can outcreate creation itself. Because this body is the net effect of creation itself. Isn't that funny? Lose the arrogance. That's what the whole Luciferian problem is. That's what creates the fallen angel. It's the angel, you, or whoever, that thought you could outdo creation. And we're just here playing a game, figuring it out and getting home. Guys, we have infinity. What else are we going to do? We're going to create the craziest, most awesome friggin' game. This is the inner child coming back. Games in the universe. And what we're doing is we're learning to not take this one so seriously anymore. And it is, as sad as it is, it's laughable. It has to be both in terms of a dualistic reality. And the sooner you get out of your brain, which is divided and conquered left and right hemispheres, with this little bridge, prefrontal lobe, joining the two of them, and then get into the only mind that counts and matters, the heart, you'll be fine. You see, one of the things about people with heart and compassion is, if you do something wrong, you know it instantly. You don't have to think about it. You feel it. Ooh, you can't do that. It's really simple. Follow your heart. But anyway, getting back to the whole legal name thing. It really is a fine line. Because the legal name sounds exactly like your name. The only difference being is that the legal name is spelled. That's what letters are. Imagine going through a life where none of us ever learned to read or write because we didn't need to. We just simply communicated. Where there were no letters interfering. Where it was just sound. And you'll start to get an idea of how impure this reality is and how it has been destroyed with these sigils. These external communication tools. That alternative intentions can be placed within them. And that's what Phoenician or phonics does to decode these things. You neutralize words. And the joy of this is, as soon as you neutralize one word, you've neutralized it for all of consciousness. Now go ahead and tell me that you're not important. And I'll call you a liar. Because I know you are. Oh, I know what it is. How much responsibility of your importance can you take? What are you willing to do to gain your immortality back? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to accept to get that back? And that really is the only question you have to ask yourself. Oh, let me see. I'll trade meat stick lifetime after meat stick lifetime, going through all of this same bullshit and nonsense over and over, dropping bodies and having that constant fear of dropping bodies and all the rest of it. Total effect of someone else draining my soul versus immortality. Bliss. Oh, yeah, I'll do that one. That works. And for me, it was just a simple choice of accepting all things. All things for a reason. Good to go. So I accept all things. It is only up to me now to see the reason why. Why is the only question I ask. I was talking with Paul G earlier, and great chat with Paul. And I've brought this word up before. Look at basically what phonics for me has done. It has given me the means to anagogically prove why a spell was built the way it was. And a great example of it is the word subtle. When you're trying to be subtle with someone, what are you doing? Well, you're trying to tell them something without getting right in their face about it. And the example I used with Paul was, someone is being an asshole. But if you just come straight out and tell them that they're an asshole, that you might have some conflict. Yes? Because assholes usually do that. So you have to be a little subtle about it, or subtel. Sub meaning under. Tell, to share, to speak. So you're speaking under, but you're still saying it without saying it, if you know what I mean. I'm being very subtle here. Have you noticed? Okay, so how do you tell someone they're an asshole and be subtle about it? Oh, it's like this. The stuff you're doing right now reminds me of some people I used to hang out with when I was younger, and they were just a bunch of assholes. You didn't come right out and tell them they're an asshole, but you certainly made it clear that they're acting like one. And that really is what it boils down to. How much can you be self-aware? How much can you handle? Can anyone or anything offend you? Aw, poor baby. That's why I go looking for goats, because they're easy to get. They're a little more difficult for those that they can't be offended. You can't offend me. That would mean that you're better than me and I'm lesser than you, and vice versa. It's not my intention to offend anyone, because I don't see you as any greater or lesser than me. And if you are offended, well, that's your issue, isn't it? Have a look at that. You have to agree to be offended. You have to have either a greater opinion or a lesser opinion of yourself than the one you're talking to. Prime example. You hear me talk about me all the time. I'm very aloof about me, because I don't take myself seriously. That's foolishness. My favorite line. I used it for years. Don't worry, you'll get over me. I did. Get over yourself. There's no need to try and be a star in this reality, boys and girls, because you already are one. You are the star in your movie. Dwell on that for a minute. One of the things we were talking about in the weekend, it sums it up beautifully, and I kept saying this to give people the idea that they need to be able to say this for themselves. And now back to our regularly programmed show. Hey, won't you get a load of me, starring me? Ta-da! Start saying that to yourself. Start saying it out loud, because that's the reality, boys and girls. You are the star in your own movie. And the vastness of humanity is walking around being an extra in it. And those that can, take that energy and feed off it and create an even bigger illusion, an even bigger matrix to keep you even more enslaved and more entrapped, are quite happy that you don't understand that you are the star of your own movie. No, you'd rather go out and fight for things. And when you fight, you are feeding the worst kind of energy into the worst kind of dark principality. That's pure jet fuel for them. Conflict, fear, anger, rage. Yeah, that doesn't sound like the happy side of life. So if you're feeding these energies at these things that are creating it, what are you doing? You're creating a feedback loop. And it's just going to keep getting stronger and stronger. It'll eventually destroy both sides. That's just the nature of evil. Evil must destroy itself. By definition, it must. Evil is a singularity in as much as good. We just have the illusion of them being divided and conquered here. But they're both one and the same thing. The only thing that changes reality is your intention. It's quite simple. What is your intention? Are you able to accept all things, or are you only happy to accept the things that you like and you discard the things you don't like? Well, then you're divided and conquered. Because you'll find more truth in the things you don't like than the things you do. Because in the things you do like, you're being very entertained. And entertainment. To enter the mirror, tain is mirror of the mind. Another point I was discussing with Paul as well is, some people, I've talked about this quite a few times, regarding people's yellow brick roads. I have my yellow brick road that involves, music, of course, and words, songwriting, and one of my neat spirit human tricks that I have that I like to share is an ability to, have a way with words, if you will, to make things clear as I possibly can, and I keep working on that to make things even clearer. And I use this gift that I came with from the universe, from the heart of all creation, to serve all. And you all have that crazy awesome gift, whatever it is, that only you have. Best use it, no? Because that's what a gift is. It's meant to give. And again, anytime the letter G shows up in any word, it is instantly destroyed and a K is put in its place. And anytime the je sound is there, I put a J and more accurately an H. Right? Get into more details on that, but I don't really need to. The simple fact is it's about knowing what the intention is. Give you an example. Let's look at the word give. G being the hex, and IVE is I've or I have. So do you see the counter intention in give? The hex I have. Here you go. Yeah, please hand over more hexes you have. Oh, let's change that to a spirit to reverse the intent. Give. I'm going to give you something. Did you hear the K there instead? Or did it sound pretty close? Well, K is Ka, spirit. The spirit I have. Yes. I would love to give you that. Pretty fun, eh? Love the gamete interfallopian transfer gift. Look it up in Black's Law. I think it's in 9th. I don't know. It's probably in the other ones too. But gift, G-I-F-T, the gamete interfallopian transfer. That's where they Shanghai the boat, actually, the body. You see, because you're not in the body until it's actually out of mama. And people can debate that all day long. I know from my own reality that's what it was with me. I remember that day. I remember that. So I have a different perspective on it. So for 9 months, that little body, that boat, that vessel, is floating around in the waters of Admiralty, owned and claimed, of course, because mom's registered, dad's registered, the marriage is registered. So everything contained within any contracts that mom and dad have are already given up anyway. And as soon as they register the name for the child, you, what they're saying is, here, take this vessel, this abandoned vessel, because no one's on board yet, and do what you want with it. But the ruse only works as long as you agree to be that name. You want your vessel back? You want your mind, your ship, your body? You want all of that back? Well, there's your answer. I bet you can't handle it. You might want to try. But it really is that simple, guys. Your ship was shanghaied before it even came out of mom. So there was an ownership claimed. You're a scutcheon nameplate on the back of that ship was registered. So as soon as the body comes out, the ship's already claimed, and what you're doing is you are entering an already claimed vessel, and you could be deemed to be hijacking or shanghaiing that ship. Remember, this is not about what someone is doing to you that you can blame. This is, what are you doing to yourself to create this effect? You are the cause in everything in your reality. You best get over that. Oh, but I'm only cause when it's good things. When it's bad things, it's some other fucking asshole's problem. Right, yeah, that's balanced. Do you see what I mean? If you're going to get involved in the dramas of everyday everyday human life, then please expect some of this nonsense. But until you actually wake up to the fact that it's all your fault, you'll be fine. The beautiful things that happen in your life, yes, that's your fault. The shitty things, oh, that's somebody else's fault, right? No, it's all your fault. Oh, we're very, very quick to take the accolades and the credit and the, oh, look at me moments. But as soon as you're looking like an asshole, you're, this is what happened. You'll justify, the ego will justify its bullshit all day long. And eventually it will convince the real you that it's right. Not a good place to be, boys and girls. You're running at the mercy of a program. Mark, are we having fun yet?
Hey, Kate.
How are you?
Great. You?
Oh, I'm fucking perfect, man. I know you are. You can say great. I know you're perfect. So it's all, I don't even why I ask. It's, hey, you're perfect, and so am I. Let's get on with it. We don't need to worry about that. Yeah. So what's on your lovely mind?
Kate, it's something that I've been sharing and discussing with Sherry, Michael, looking at the language and looking at the assumption, presumption, looking at the miscommunication between a partner, a work colleague, whatever, and looking at the complexity put around these words, the meanings, how misunderstandings do occur. And I've sort of been, and Sherry have been looking at the sort of, can we not bring the word back to its singularity?
Well, that's what phonics is doing.
When I say no, I mean no.
Yeah. Again, see now when you understand that there is a counter-intention, intention, counter-intention in every word, get the concept. You get the concept, yes?
Correct.
Then you've already broken the spell. Because now that you understand that there is both of those, I only choose my true intention to be carried through that sound, be it in the literal defined or as I redefine it to my own reality. Because some words simply, in their intent, work for me, and I just solidify that intent. But there's no complication to this. The only reason I ask people to do this is so they can see the magic, the pure magic, and this works in every language. Alessandro texted me, specchio a specchio. That means mirror, mirror in Italian. And I proved it in Phoenician.
This is the thing. This is the thing, though, Kate. The word does have many connotations, and that's from the complexity of that point. It filters all the way down to a point where if you look at law, and you look at that book, I forget what you just said now, the Black's Law book. Well, it has another different meaning again. Mm-hmm. So the complexity just builds all the time.
No, Mark, I'm going to counter-intend you right now because you're placing the complexity in it where I just made it really fucking simple. And people do this all the time. It is not complex. There is a good intent and an evil intent in every word. Which one do you want? The evil that you can't see that was encoded into that as an opposite, or the real intent? Once you get that concept, how complex is that, bud?
I understand that.
Okay, that's all you need to do. Okay, no, I need you to breathe. I want everyone to breathe here. I don't want anyone thinking that this is complex. It's not. It's very, very, very simple, which gives the fractal illusion of complexity because it explodes so quickly. You know you've hit the nail when it goes fractal. That simplicity shows the complexity that you've just erased. And the simple truth is this. When I say the word refuse, what do you think my intention is? To rejoin something or to say I don't want it?
I don't want it.
Okay. There. Spell broken. But you see the equal and opposite. Exact same spelling, exact same word. And here's another version of the same thing, just in how you now and say it. Pronounce. Pro, for, now, as in right now, and infinitely mine, say, creation itself. For my infinitely now creation itself. That's a pretty powerful intention, don't you think? So what you're saying is, depending on how you pronounce something, will determine the intent of the creation. An example, a perfect example, is coincidence or coincidence. Coincidence says, geez, that was lucky. What a coincidence. Coincidence says, that's meant to be. It is meant to coincide with something. Now let's go even deeper with that. Coin means high priest. Side, to kill. Mind. So if you think it's lucky, well, there's the high priest killing your mind. Interesting, huh? But every word is a singularity that has been given a duality.
Thereby the confusion.
What's that?
Thereby the confusion exists.
Exactly. That's the divide and conquer. That's the allegory of Babylon, where everyone was given a different language. No, they weren't. It's when the words were actually split into two different meanings, where one was given, the other one was hidden. We just found the hidden part, and it shows up in the phonics, the Phoenician. So don't make it difficult, guys. Do not. That's what the left brain wants to do. It wants to be clever. It wants to rationalize all of this and deduce it down to this. And just see, for me, it's simple. Truth is, I just accept it. You go, aha, good. I'm good with that. I don't need to question truth. So it's a very, very simple thing, but it's so simple, it's very difficult to get across to people. Oh, we got some callers calling in here. There is a post I do want to share, guys. So I'll tell you what, I want to shift gears here a little bit, getting back into the responsibility of ourselves aspect. And this is probably one of the best posts I've seen yet regarding that. And thank you, Wayne, for posting this today. And I'm gonna let a 7-year-old. I'm not sure when her birthday is. I know she's Gemini, so we're in Gemini right now. Happy birthday, Terry, by the way. Miss you. Anyway, I'm not sure if you tune in anymore, but definitely miss you. So here, this is from Wayne in White. And I'm going to show you the wisdom of a 7-year-old, and I'm going to hand a bunch of you adults a shit pile of responsibility right now, and I sure as hell hope you can handle it. So, just been watching Return of the Jedi with White, and my brother came around and was saying that he just got his passport so he can go to the World Cup. And White said to him, this is our 7-year-old little powerhouse. So you just got your ticket so you can go through their portal. That's why they're called airports. And ports, they just left out the AL. Then she said, and you're going to spend all that money to go and watch someone kick a ball around. And then there are children that have got no food to eat and no bed to sleep in. Well, I hope you have a good time watching a ball when you can watch your son do that for free. The look on his face was shock because he knew she was right. He just went into the garden and sat down just looking at his passport. And he's still there now and has been for half an hour. You think I'm rough on you? Seriously. You think I'm hard on you guys? Imagine getting that dealt up to you by a child. Then you're going to start to see the power of the inner child, the true child that's coming through. And that's really what it boils down to, responsibility. What are your choices? My game's easy. Anything that flows through me flows with the direction and intention of helping all of humanity. And that's it. My intention is the removal and destruction. That's why Babylon is fallen. It's done. And I'm just watching it in its death throes. It's hilarious. So what do you guys think of that little comment? Pretty powerful, huh?
That's kicking universes around, Cage, not to mind pieces of leather.
Yeah, that is one swift, severe kick in the area you don't want with a pair of freshly sharpened golf cleats, is what that is. That's an out-of-the-park hoof. That's the kind of hoof that you feel for a long time. It's one that, until you fix it, will never heal. Pure truth from the mouths of babes, eh, Peter?
Exactly, and look, all children, they have no filters. They have none of these artificial filters that the rest of us are hump around for all of our lives, you know. And it's beautiful, beautiful.
And that's a great way to put it, too. No, they do not have filters. And the joy of watching a child like this tells me very clearly that Wayne, and of course Wayne's ex, in the parenting sense, removed the filters for White to be able to. So we're not. See, what happened to us is we had filters placed on us. We had limitations. Exactly. Children should be seen and not heard, and where the opposite is true.
Beautiful.
And that's great.
And what other way? Any decent soul. What other way is there to treat children? You know, and that's why it offends us so much, Kate, and all here at this table, and millions around the world as well. At just how badly children are treated on the general, on the whole, you know.
Well, you already know the intention I have out there for anyone that harms a child. And I got pretty into it last night as far as, if you didn't feel my intensity last night, you got issues.
Absolutely.
Because this is how important this is. Everything that we do with intention to support the system, i.e. through ego, greed, and all the rest of it, versus simply what we need to carry on. And this is another thing I want to make sure of with people, because we have people that are worried about, you know, not wanting to be part of the system and wondering how they're going to survive. Let me give you all a little reminder. That piece of the puzzle of no ID, nothing whatsoever, completely stripped clean, was my game piece, was my puzzle piece to hold. That makes it clear for everybody. What needs to change is the intention. If you need to go to work to provide for your family in the meantime and carry through and do, and that's fine, then do that. And do it with the intention of only what is needed to bring the system down, to get it out of the way where this money thing is gone, this third-party illusion, soul rip is taken right out of the equation. But people are, and then of course there's the left brain. Well, what do we do about this? Stop. I'll tell you what you do about it. You simply say, I accept all creation in its perfection, that is already solved, that I don't need to try to control it because that perfect reality is already there. Go ahead and tell me that doesn't feel right. You know there's a perfect reality there. I just accept it, that's all. So stay the course. And once you start to really get this whole legal name thing, that you're not that, and that the system cannot and absolutely must not trespass, then you won't worry about not making your mortgage payments or your car payments. You rip the VINs out of the car, pull the plates off it, go ahead. They can't ID that car. Besides, they can't even get to anything that is yours until you consent to be the legal name that all of that stuff is attached to. This is why people with gas bills and electric bills and whatever, you can stop paying them, but never communicate with them again. Because they need you to consent to be the dead legal name in order for them to be able to turn the power off or turn the water off or turn the gas off. No name, no game. The dead entity opened the contract, and once a dead entity is no longer there, there's no one to close the contract. Comprende?
Well, Kate, just as you're saying that, I'll just stick in my own experience at the minute briefly. I haven't opened, or actually I've closed up my letterbox. I've put just a message in black pen on the door, no unsolicited mail to the name Dead Legal Fiction, and my electricity is still going. What are you going to do without it? Well, fuck it, it's still going. I haven't paid it. I am not a legal dead paper entity, so yeah, what you're saying seems to be true, and look, if something else happens, let it be. But up to now, what you're saying is exactly true. And
Peter, it is simple contract law. The only one that can change a contract is the one that's involved in it. And if the dead person is no longer there, there's no dead party to change the contract, so it stays as is until that party is located.
And I'm the one that's been defrauded, not anyone else, you see, and that's the point as well, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and in that defrauding, we have been defrauding each other and ourselves, so we've been doing it to ourselves. So can I make a suggestion to everybody? Stop doing that. Please. Let's get on with beautiful creation that is already there waiting for you. The Christmas tree is packed with presents, and everyone's walking around wondering where the tree is. They don't even know one exists. I do. I'm sitting, like I said to Paul today, I'm sitting at the tree waiting. Come on, guys, the present's here. Let's go. Oh, come on, hurry up. I want to get them open. You know, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just sitting waiting for the one to accept all creation as picked.
And you find then, Kate, once you kind of get your head around it, get your mind wrapped around the principle of this, that it becomes irrelevant. It becomes irrelevant. And what becomes important now is just really finding out to the real extent, but you're there, or maybe you're there for the most part, of who and what we really are, and then that's where your words will resonate more and more with people, as indeed they have done with me, And I know it's not tiring. It's a challenge to keep repeating the same ultimately simplistic principle and point of view, and not have people get it and absorb the truth contained within. But
I haven't changed my story in 4 years.
No, I know.
I have told the same story every single episode. I've just worded it differently and shared different ways to see it. That's all. But it's the same story. It's always been the same story.
And doing that would drive any mere mortal up to not have
Well, you see, that's what made me to die for rhythm guitarist in any band, because it was solid, never varying, never shifting, constant. And that's what I am. In terms of truth, I am the rhythm guitarist. And I will play the same 3 chords over and over long enough for you to finally learn to play lead over it. And you're going to be a really cool lead player, because I want to make sure of that. And that's exactly what happened. I had that allegory play out in my band, Athen Rye. My lead guitarist, Sam, learned his first chords from me. I remember the first electric guitar I owned, I actually bought it off him. It was like a Gibson Les Paul. It was a Granada, which was a knockoff of it. Beautiful guitar, though. I think I paid him $50 for the guitar and a small amp, because it was one that he was going to he was taking lessons, and it just lessons didn't interest him. And then after a while,
you got a guitar for a piece of paper with 50 written on it. Lovely.
Well, yeah, exactly, right. So the thing is, I was playing guitar and I was learning and teaching myself and writing songs and whatever. And he used to come over and hang out with myself and Tim, and who was playing bass, and he got really enthralled with it. And then he asked me about learning, and I said, well, here, let me, no problem, let's just sit down, I'll show you a few chords. And I would watch, and he picked it up really quick, and next thing you know, is he became this incredible lead guitar player that I looked at in complete awe, and it was really neat because he could pull out the melodies that I had in the songs that I was writing. He pulled that out naturally. But here's a prime example of that. I kept playing lead guitar, rhythm guitar. That's what I am, a rhythm player. And I would literally sit there for hours and just play the same chords over and over while he was working some stuff out and Tim was working some stuff out. And I had no problem with that because it just got me into a groove and I was in full meditation. But that's what I'm doing here on the air every single day. I'm just playing the same 3 chords over and over again until you get that lead perfect.
Within any one... Sorry, Kate, have you go?
No, it's okay. I was going to say, and the lead is simply this: no name, no game. And once you master that, you will be writing music to such a incredible, and I'm being allegorical, your reality will shift incredibly. Your song will change. You will know that you don't need to go out and work for mortgages because there are death pledges. It's all fraud. Car payments, whatever. It's all fraud. Anything. When you start to understand that any contract or anything that you've entered into with a legal name was fraud, you actually have an obligation to not flow any more energy towards it. And here's the joy of it. And if I had known this, 2 years ago, I'd still be in my home right now. So what I have now is through the literal sacrifice of family and home, I now have the ability to make sure that your family and your home are safe with this truth. Or you can just simply ignore what I'm saying and get fucked, like I did. Where you can learn the easy lesson or the hard one. You can choose to stand in truth, the easy way, let the universe brush you with a feather, or you can do it the hard way and let the universe drop a mountain on you. It's up to you. I'll tell you, the feather is what I would do, and the mountain is certainly what I would not do. And from my perspective, it's very, very simple. And we have, what are we running? That's right, 100% success rate. With many coming now with the pure magic. Colleen's story, she literally told the same story twice. She had 2 different encounters, and in both occasions, the cops got a phone call. And as I said to her last night, I'm not sure if she's on the call today, but I hope she is. Same thing I said last night. That's just the universe giving you a little brush with a feather to get you to stop saying things like, well, it seems like, or perhaps, or maybe, or probably, right? Lose these doubt words.
Yeah.
You had 2 feathers given to you, matched feathers, same scenarios. We're right in the middle of talking with these guys. The phone rings and they have to leave. That's your cue. How about you just accept the fact that, yeah, you've got it. Now, why don't you just simply fully and completely accept it? And then, by your actions, you are known. And I'm saying this to everyone. How you speak will determine your reality. So when you say things like, I got something in the mail, you have just recontracted to the legal name.
Yeah.
I would just simply say something came in the mail. Not sure who or what it's for, but I will go through it, and the ones that are for me, i.e. things from friends or whatever, those are definitely, that's for me, because I accept those things. And other things, well, of course I don't get anything else because I'm not in. That's the joy of the system. Guess how much system mail I get? None. Guess how many cops I run off? All of them. Who wants that neat trick? Who wants to share in that power? Anybody? Takers? Arms up. Come on.
I'll take one of those, Kate.
There you go. And here's the thing: the more you stand in your power, guys, the more power you get, because you start understanding it and you're taking responsibility for it and you're accepting it. So stop doubting yourselves. Things like, it was as if the universe was looking out for me. How about we just accept the fact that the universe has you? Know it. Stop believing that it does, where doubt can enter, and just know that when you lay back in the arms of the heart of all creation, the universe has it. carry on with your day. Just know that everything is perfect. Accept all things as they come. And guess what happens? When you accept all things, the universe accepts you. It's a give and take game here, boys and girls. And it's got to be equal to make it neutral. That's the 0 point. Pretty simple. I should probably do a shout out for the station right about now, so why don't I do that? And please go to criticalmassradio.co.uk there's apps there for iPhone, etc. Again, that's foreign language to me, but I know that all the goodies and tools are there, so please head over to criticalmassradio.co.uk to find the most convenient way for you to have what you need to listen to us anywhere, on the go, or at home, or whatever the case may be. See, that's the thing about Critical Mass Radio. Everything there, just like cadeofgaia.wordpress.com, it's all free. It's all co-created for you, and everything flows where it needs to flow. It's a beautiful thing. So here, I just want to throw this on. Let me see, where is it? I know it, there it is. So, and I know it takes a few seconds until we get into the actual message. But I just want to say a great big thank you to Paul G. and Ninja and Rob and Freeman and everyone at the station. And don't forget, Ben is on. I roll out at 2:45. Ben is on at 3 p.m. here on Critical Mass Radio as well. So don't forget to stay tuned in for that and have some good tunes and a little chit-chat with Ben. On that note, all I want to say is thank you.
Their walls are falling. The momentum is now with us. It's our time now. At the most pivotal point in history is Critical Mass Radio, 24/7 Truth Radio. Help us to help you. Please go to www.criticalmassradio.co.uk and subscribe £1, £2 or £3 a month. The critical mass has been reached. We must come together. We must stand together for ourselves, for each other, for our future generations. criticalmassradio.co.uk. Now, it's our turn.
Just like that. Really easy. So on that, we got 45 minutes, maybe a little less, but doesn't matter. Let's carry it on through. Actually, no, we got more. We do have less because I'm looking at the time run out and I have to take 15 minutes off that. But anyway, we got about 40 minutes here. So let's get some hands up, guys. Mark, you're in here. Peter, you're in here. Where do you want to go from here?
Well, Kate, and hi to Mark. Beautiful sentiments again, Kate. And mirror with the universe having you, you find then that you have the universe, and all is one. And again, it's we're at different rungs of the ladder, necessarily each and every one of us. I guess it's a ladder of infinite rungs in a sense, but we're all heading in the same direction. And once we break the shackles, again, you break the contracts in your mind. It's all about your intent. Then everything else necessarily follows if you trust in that and trust in yourself. And I guess that's the bridge that is the difficulty. People have the difficulty in crossing. And I was just thinking in terms of the allegory and White's letter to you. That there she's criticizing justly these people who will give their energy and power, in a sense, to such
Peter. Yeah. No, there was no criticism in that. Criticism is a dualistic. I really need to get this clear with people. All that White was doing was stating the obvious. She was being objective.
True. Yeah.
Criticism.
I knew.
Peter, I need this for everybody. All right. Criticism means that one can be subjective and be subject to an emotion in it. No. White just nailed it. That's all. So I just want to make sure that's clear, and I want this intent pure because that came from White that is absolutely pure. So carry on.
appreciate that, Kate. And, again, if from a personal point of view, we really have to rethink the words, and just connecting back into what you were saying earlier, we really have to think twice about what words we're going to use and what intention we're going to place in them. Because, as you say, every word can be broken down and meant in 100 different ways. So on your answer, and then it's up to others who are unclear, if they need to find out and clarify things, to come to you and get you to say exactly what you mean, what your intent is with the words you use. But yes, just as these people expend all that vital energy, it's such a pointless and service to self practice. We stuck in the legal name business as well, all of energy, trying to cling on to the things, your car or the property or whatever benefits we feel we gain from it. So, and we're in the same people with that in terms of the real issue, which is oneself and one's relationship to one's fellow man, to humanity, and to God, and to yourself, And yeah, we're all getting there, Kate. And there's no rushing these things. What will be, will be. And
again, truth never needs to be rushed. It just merely needs to be accepted. As one day I was sitting having a chat with a friend over at the coffee place, and there was one of those kind of pseudo-exotic Cobra GTs. It had to be probably $100,000 worth of car. Obviously, some guy with a penis issue. Who, of course, was sitting there with a friend in front of myself and my friend. And I looked over. It's nice car. It's too bad. How did I put it? I said, good thing there's no starving children in the world that one could feel so ostentatious as to go out and buy themselves something so important while children. Good thing there are no starving children. And I made sure he heard me. And that's the thing, I am so sick, sore, and tired. I lived that life. I've been part of that. We've all been part of that. And I look at all of these crazy physical lures, possessions, right? The spirit seed of tax ions that people are possessed of. That's why they call it repossessing a house. That's why they're called possessions. You are possessed of your possessions. And this is the Nicodemus effect. And how many people can let go of their possessions in order to walk in the truth? I mean, Nicodemus was all about, I want to follow you, Jesus. What do I need to do? He says, well, give away all of your wealth to the poor and come walk with me in truth. And, well, we all found out which true God that Nicodemus served, and it certainly wasn't the heart of all creation. It was the heart of self-satisfaction, ego, greed, Luciferian, all about me, me, me. Now, when I say you're the star of your movie, get a load of me, that's an entirely different thing. That actually removes all of that bullshit. Thinking that you need these things to be the me. No, you just have to be the star of your movie. And as soon as you decide to be that, universe will start giving you the script that you already had waiting for you. And you think your script's better than creation's. Yeah, give your fucking head a shake. Seriously. Talk about arrogance. I tell you, that was the most profound thing for me is coming back from that beautiful other sidewalk. I came back with so many things. And one of them was just the sheer arrogance of thinking that we can outdo that. That's where my I'm not worthy came in. It's like, holy shit, I get it, oh my. And I just simply accept it. I should probably give the call-in number. I was thinking about that. It's BTR listener 056, I believe. Let me see. Yes, Equicentric posted it, and I'm sure Clarity did too. Yeah, of course you did. Yes, it's BTR listener 056. For those that want to get on the board with Skype, the fast, easy way, just put that into your Skype contacts, do a search, BTR listener 056. When it comes up, right-click, hit call, see you on the board. And the phone, the landline call, you can call in at 347-383-5555. 347-326-9530. That's 347-326-9530. That'll get you to the board. Once on the board, all you got to do is hit 1 on the dial pad on the phone or open up the Skype dial pad and hit 1 there. They both work exactly the same way, so it's all good. Okay, let's carry on here. But yeah, this is about the responsibility and the choices we make. When you start making choices that benefit all of humanity, your world will shift. When you start making choices to do things that will benefit all of humanity, sort of like going after the one thing that humanity had in common with me was the name and blood. That's it. No separation there. That's when, for me, my whole paradigm. This is going back a few years. Whole paradigm opened up, and my purpose from start to finish here, actually the finish of the culmination of the work is Babylon Has Fallen. That's 4.5 years of work wrapped up in one paper. Everything you need is there. And that's in a simplistic form. If you want to understand more about how that paper is the culmination, just go to my essays page and read everything. And then read Babylon Has Fallen again. And you think you get it now without reading any of the other stuff? You're not even close. You haven't even scratched the surface. You read everything on my website, I promise you, that Babylon Has Fallen will become the purest, most impossible to avoid contract you will ever give out. It's pure truth. And remember that when you're sending out a contract, I'm not saying affidavit or document or whatever, you send out Babylon Has Fallen and you understand everything that's in it and you accept the fact that, yes, the legal name is the one thing that's got humanity under the thumb of another, then what you're doing is you're not making an offer here. You are sending out contract. Remember, anything sent is already deemed contract upon sending, because where it is going is an open mailbox, be it email or a mailbox on a building or an address that says, we accept all things, except in the case of things like what Peter has been saying, no unsolicited mail. Basically, unsolicited means you better talk to a lawyer first before you mail me anything. And of course, it's got nothing to do with anything with me anyway, right? I'm giving you just trying to give you the concepts here. It's really simple, so crazy simple. So jump in here, guys.
It is so yeah. Beautifully simple, Kate, and it's a long time since I think I've mentioned, or we've mentioned it, that crucifixion which occurs from having the aha moment, which you so well, Babylon Fallen is a concise piece of work, and I look at the double crucifixion, that the second crucifixion is the one within, where you're looking at the mirror, and you're taking those choices which you just described a minute ago. And then it's to be able to walk out and sit on the rim of the coin.
Yeah, the view is much better. That was one of the questions I posed on the weekend. I love the answer. I always get the wrong one. I say, hey, how many sides on a coin? 2. No, there's 3. There's a rim. I stand there. You should see the eyes open when I do that. It's like, fuck. Yeah, see how closed your eyes were? You only saw 2 sides on a coin. There's 3. Unless, of course, you deal in the singularity of the second dimension. Yeah, I'm good. I'll take the 3D version because I'm, 4D and beyond. I can handle 3D. Can you?
Zoom in with a microscope and see all the rims along all the grooves and rims along the rim itself.
There you go. Now we can get into the real details of, yes, if it's got that corrugated edge, every one of those has a side, right? So every top of a ridge is a side. Every valley is a side. You know? So how many sides are there on a coin? So there's your high priest. Many different faces to that high priest. Sorry, I don't trust in money. It's right on there. I love it. It's so funny. It's right in your face on a U.S. coins. In God we trust. Yes, the hex of creation in the mirror. G-O-D. Well, no, I'm sorry. In Kati, I trust. That is the spirit of creation and the law of truth. That works for me. And there's your coat of many colors. K-O-T. Coat. There's how you get your coat, your goat. Right? You take the hex out of the goat and you have it. Coat. Koat. It's beautiful. The spirit into the womb of creation as below to above through the law of truth. Get your coat of many colors on, Joseph. Or Hercules, or Jesus, or Muhammad, or Ophiuchus. Doesn't matter. You got to be the 13th warrior here. And that coat has all the colors of the rainbow because that's you. Why would you settle for, black and white? Or black or white? See, there's a dualistic choice. White is just a lighter version of black, and black is just a darker version of white. It's the same thing. So don't get caught in the dualities. Learn to see the singularities. I call it finding the belly button. Give it a tickle. The Pillsbury Doughboy. Right in the middle. There's your singularity. I had a great conversation on Saturday with, I think it was about 4 or 5 of us just sitting around, and I just sat there showing people belly button after belly button of singularity. One of the examples was people were asking me about being on stage or whatever. And I said, yeah, well, people definitely come out and listen, music. That was my thing. And so there was a lot of people that they came out just to hear my in-between the songs. Because I go off in these little rants and whatever, typically like I do on the air, and get real sarcastic and everything, in a very literal way, picking on governments and stuff, and just really pointing out obvious things. And, on occasion, now listen to the singularity in what I'm about to share with you. On occasion, people will come up to me and say, have you ever thought about, doing stand-up comedy? And I said, well, no, not really. It's, I'm on stage anyway. He says, your songs are, listen to this, your songs and everything, and it's really great. I love it. But you really should think about stand-up comedy. And at which point I have only one answer, and I'm not sure how to answer it. It's, thank you, I think. In one sense, it's saying it's great, and in the other sense, it's saying it's not great enough that you should be doing something else. It's like it was a total compliment and insult at the same time. So, thank you, I think. I'm not sure how to take that.
He was probably Irish, Kate.
But you see the singularity there?
Yes, indeed. And Kate, you're standing up in a divine comedy.
Oh, that's it. Here we are in the divine comedy of divine comedies, Dante's Inferno on Comedy Night Central, right? And that's what it is. And that's really another thing that I was talking about as well is getting the cosmic joke. And people started to get it, and they were finally laughing at themselves. Because until you start laughing at yourself and all of the crazy retarded things that you've done, like I've done, and so you can get the contrast of it and go, oh my God, I was such an idiot, right? But look at yourself from that perspective. It's not, oh, I was so bad. See it from the lighter side. Lighten up.
Well, Kate, just as you mentioned that, I'm just picturing it. Remember those old Johnny Cash shows that have a half an hour on and have a little bit of speaking, a little bit of music? I could imagine Katie's show. That would be fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah, we had a good time. The Songwriter Cafe was fun because I always had an opportunity. It was once a week, so I had plenty of time to observe the world around me and have lots of nice little anecdotes to share with people, and of course what was going on in the politics or the religion or whatever, and I always poked fun. I remember I was at one event playing that everyone there was a beautiful people. They came out to the cafe all the time. Their daughter was a great talent, and I got along great with them. And they were very devout Christians, but not from the holier than thou perspective, they were very genuine in their love that was put out. And there was one song I wrote. Dave came up to me after I wrote it. It's called "Save It for Sunday." Actually, I'll pull it out and play it. I do have a recording of it. And anyway, it's what was the other one? Anyway, he'd come up to me and say, that's what a beautiful perspective. And here's a guy that's devout, but he always got the real message in what I was doing. But anyway, I came out to play at an event at it was called the Ark. He had built this gorgeous, beautiful home and had basically a performing room upstairs that was fairly large and could accommodate probably about 100 or more people. But I was asked to come out and play this one time, and I had another young lady playing with me, and she came up to me and she said, "Oh, I'm really happy about opening for you." And I said, "Honey, no one opens for me. I share stages." No, you just get to go first. That's it. This stage is equal. So don't ever make less of yourself thinking you're opening for somebody or you're the closing or the headline. I mean, I did that shit. Don't do it anymore. Haven't done it for a long time. But she got that. But I'll tell you, she did her 45 minutes, and then I got up, did an hour and a half, whatever. And of course, in between songs, I'm rifling off these jokes, knowing the crowd that I'm in, and I'm sending these zingers over their head. Right? That if you weren't really in the now, like in the real sense of being there, you'd have missed them. And if you were caught up in the whole religiocosus thing, you definitely missed them. But I'm throwing zinger after zinger out, and I've got these, blank stares coming back, and she's at the back of the room, and she's got her head in her hands, right? She came up to me afterwards, and she said, I got to tell you, love your stuff, but when you were talking between songs and you were just saying things that were going over everybody's head, and it was absolutely hilarious, and none of you got your jokes. I did. I said, I know. I saw you laughing. I know the people that are in the moment, because they're the ones that are getting this shit. They're hearing the sarcasm, where someone would take it literally. It sounds like it's literal, but it's pure sarcasm.
And that makes it more satisfying for you then, Kate, knowing that the vast majority are dumbasses.
Well, again, it's not that they're dumbasses in as much as they're asleep. So this is how I gauge things. So I'm always speaking in sarcasm around people, and I can always tell when people are not that are trapped in the literal, and they're answering me literally, and then I look at them and say, "Oh, that was sarcasm."
Yes.
You know what sarcasm is, right? Yeah. Right. And then I tell people all the time, everything that comes out of my face is generally sarcasm or sarcastic to illustrate truth, speaking in prose. Or I'll get very literal and I'll make a point of, I'm being very literal here. So that there's no confusion of it. But you'd be amazed at how much of the stuff I shared goes right over people. I do listen to the show sometime and listen to the sarcasm that is the undertone of everything I do.
I can relate to you there, Kate. I have to say to people now, look, if I say something that's kind of strange and is out of the blue, joking, because just the number of times that you say something, you take it literally and don't see the sarcasm or the humor. But brilliant.
Well, yeah, and go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
All I was going to say there, Kate, is it's sometimes like I think you've expressed when you talk to someone's ego that you're talking to a 5-year-old.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. So I speak to the 5-year-old as the 5-year-old. That's why I go looking for goats. Because until I know what I'm dealing with, and I literally, when I meet new people, I'm hardcore. I come right at them. I say, I want to see where your goat is. I want to see what kind of program you got running, because it's always a given that someone's running a program. You're on Earth, you're running a program. Easy peasy. So I go looking for it. And as soon as I find it, I take the chainsaw to it. And I did that with a couple of people over the weekend, and both of them got to me and said, "Thank you, I get it. Thank you, oh my God." And I got these great big hugs. And she told you, "You're fucking beautiful, but I can't get that to you until you get this other shit out of the way." You know,
it's pointless tiptoeing around as well, Kate. At this stage in the game, it's pointless tiptoeing around. You're only altering yourself to suit the outside, as opposed to being yourself, and with benevolence, trying to set those seeds in others. And that's the great thing about it, the rewarding thing in a sense, right thing.
No
sugarcoating. No, exactly, and here's the joy of standing in this place of objectivity, to be objective on everything. You see, I don't care if it takes someone to absolutely hate my guts to get it. I'm in. Fucking hate me all you need. Because I bet you your hate will never exceed my unconditional love. And it's like this. You see, and this is something I'm putting together for Sue. With regards to a phrase, no matter what. You've heard that. I'm going to love you no matter what. How many of you have ever meant that? I'm going to stand by your side no matter what. How many of you have ever meant that? Really, think about it. How many times have you said it to make yourself out to be a liar? You see, I chose not to be a liar anymore. So one of the joys that I have in that, in as much and as hard as Sue wants to ignore me and hate me, the only thing she's doing is increasing my unconditional love, because I told her a long time ago that I will love you no matter what. And here's our no matter what. So what is your definition of no matter what? Is it just lip service? Is it just something cool to say to convince somebody that you're full of shit anyway? Or is it something that you actually mean? That I will love you no matter what? How many of you have said that to someone in your life only to have walked away, where your no matter what wasn't worth a piece of dog shit at the bottom of the bottomless pit? You see, this is the part of responsibility that I take upon myself, that I look to the things of the contracts that I have said or have been part of, only to have failed in them, except that I have accepted that and gotten the contrast where today I really know what no matter what means. And yes, I will love you no matter what. And here's the neat thing. That's exactly the same thing I got from the heart of all creation. Oh, don't worry. I will love you no matter what. So I get it. And boy, you want to talk about power in that? It's like this. Sue had said to me a long time, it wasn't that long ago, but when she was still talking to me, this is great. I love sharing my personal life so that people can get an idea of how life can be interacted with. And she said to me, there's something that, how do you put this? She wanted to join me on something that we had started together, and she'd said, well, even though we're not together, I would still like to continue that journey with you if that's okay. I'd like to do that no matter what. So that's what I'm going to throw at her. I said, well, I get to continue that journey. And you told me a long time ago that you'd like to join me to finish that walk, and you said no matter what. So here's the difference of what your definition of no matter what is versus mine. See, your definition of no matter what has conditions on it, so it's conditional. My no matter what is unconditional. That's the difference. So we can both say the same things, but really, who's going to stand in what? So just keep that in the back of your mind when you look at someone, and you can test yourself on this. Look at someone that you have loved or love. It's easier to do it with someone you have loved. That at some point you probably said, I love you no matter what. You've probably said that. How about you live up to it and relook at that same thing again and apply the no matter what? Then you'll find the unconditional love and the gratitude contained within that. Because until you do, you are going to be at effect to it. And it will always have cause over you. And it will always make a liar out of you. Something I choose not to do. So when I say it, and to all of those that have harmed me. It doesn't matter. Because I will love you no matter what. And mean it. Say what you mean what you say. And I will stand in truth, stand to post. I will not yield, none shall pass. I will stand for and in the heart of all creation, no matter what. I accept all things. So does that make it a bit clearer? Does that really kind of make it clear as to perhaps what it might take?
We have the title of your next song, Kate, beautiful. And, you know, this is where, I guess this is where growing up comes into it as well. For instance, you might have said no matter what to more than one person and really meant it, you know, and then grown as a person. But no matter what, it's always about now. So you've got to go with your heart and whatever that means to you. I'd just like to say, if I may, a happy birthday to my beautiful son, Stephen. I saw him today for the first time in 6 weeks, and I just called by the school just to have a 5 or 10 minute chat, and his granddad picks him up normally. And we had a beautiful little meeting. It was inadequate in lots of senses, but I'll just say, Kate, that, you know, no matter what, I love him, and we could rekindle that love straight away. It's as if I saw him yesterday, and I know that in that truth I will go forward. And he knows with the difficulties. We just finished reading Candide before Easter there, and also King Lear. So we know the roots and the hardships in life, but they always take us to the next step, which is always all the better for having been through the hardships. But no matter what, indeed, Kate, and what a beautiful sentiment, and I look forward to the beautiful song by Kate of Gaia, No Matter What.
No matter what. Yeah. Sorry, guys. In favor from everybody, 1 to 3 p.m. Tuesday, I am on the air. Please do not text during the show. Thanks. Same at 7 to 9 p.m. Great. And at 1, 2 in the morning. Thanks. Appreciate it. Love you. No matter what. Because I know you'll do it again anyway. Isn't it funny? It's like, you know, at the table we talk about, what do you call it, you know, noise in the background and everything else. I always have to say something every night. Apparently, no matter what I say, I still have to keep saying that. But, you know, I'll always be there no matter what, and I will continue no matter what until such a time that we bring the inner child heaven back to this reality. And it's here. The veil is very thin. The Luciferian light is it's diminishing. Yeah, I think I had a great chat with Chris last night. I think I want to get into a bit more of my intuitives behind a DMT and what it does. It's a vortexual hyperdrive light wormhole where it actually, you can finally start to see the reality in the faster frequencies of light. That's why you can see the consciousness of other things. And for those that haven't heard any of the DMT experiences I've been talking about, I got to tell you, two of the coolest things is actually seeing the spirit molecule that is not in the DMT. It is attracted by it and follows it when you smoke it. It follows it in. It piggybacks. The spirit molecule piggybacks the crystals. And typically you can't see it, but when you're on DMT, you can. And if I spend enough time just concentrating on something, I can see it now because I know what to look for. The same thing with cannabis. Cannabis is the happiest consciousness. It's like, do you know the guys in Men in Black, the little short guys? That, hey, we make the coffee. You know, the crazy little aliens. They were short and they had their own little.
Yeah.
You know those guys? That's cannabis. Hey man, how's it going? You want a coffee? Hey, let's go party. That is exactly what cannabis is. It's just this happy. Hey man, smoke me. I want to go free with you. You know, it's freaking awesome. I can heal you. Let's play. It's beautiful. It's just it's a happy consciousness. It's like, you know, undulating bliss, and it's like almost like little babies, you know, rolling around together, and they're all laughing and giggling and pick me, smoke me, or eat me, or do whatever, right? transmute me through you. I want to get back into the other reality, right? So it's pretty cool.
And you knew how that was cannabis, the cannabis section in how did you know it was, Kate, and it wasn't some other aspect of something?
Oh, no, well, because that's the thing about sitting in Eden, being between worlds, literally being allowed to sit fully conscious and aware, which you are anyway with DMT, but not literally being able to control the reality around you so that it's they are very playful. Don't get me wrong. If you can, if they think that you can be distracted, they'll do it. But I'm at the point now where, guys, come on, I got work to do. Oh, okay.
I look forward to meeting.
They're quite something. And there's so many. This universe is so beautiful. So much life, so much consciousness, so much pure love and energy. And we got duped into, hey, you need to get that 308 GTS Ferrari because stop texting, please. Because I don't like turning my phone off. It's a pain in the ass. But anyway, yeah. What else can I say? There's nothing else. It's just let go of the physical.
I was going to say we've been duped into thinking that this narrow band of and all you have to do is take even the fraction to either side of the limit set, and you have a wondrous different universe facing you.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, listen, we got about 7 minutes left here, so just letting you guys know. Mark, you want to chime in here a little bit?
Yeah, I'm just reflecting on what you were saying just now, Kate. I think was it on the first night you. I didn't quite get the when you were talking about the light aspect and is it 24 frames per second on the film rate?
Yeah. The Luciferian false light here is 24 frames per second. The true light is 63 trillion frames per second. So when you do a comparison ratio, you might be missing out on a little bit. You think?
Coming up a bit short.
Just a weeny bit.
So my feeling is that with the DMT, it might take it up to maybe a few thousand frames per second. Oh. Okay, so you starting to get the scope of this? It's
you've barely left the start line then, Kate, in terms of all there really is.
Well, it's like in Battlestar Galactica, the Viper when it's getting launched. That's exactly what DMT does. Is it launches, your static light position of looking into this past, which light takes time to travel, so everything outside of you is past. You're never seeing the now. So close your eyes if you want to see that. And what it does is it shoots you beyond. You go superluminal. You are now moving faster than the speed of light here. So what you're doing is now you're seeing the higher frequencies and the faster light of consciousness. So when your eyes are open, looking at the world around you, that's what you're seeing. And when you get to a point where you're not entertained by the cartoon people and all the rest of this stuff that's just there to distract you to see if you can actually get a grip on yourself, or are you just going to play in the cartoon reality, or there's other little tricks that go on to keep you distracted. I just push right on through that stuff. I know because I know what it is. But once you can get past that, then you're going to start to see the real things. And it's not just going to be getting high, if you will, because I find that most people that go with DMT or whatever, they haven't got a clue as to what they're doing, the purpose of why they're doing it, and what their intention is once they're on the other side. So this is one of the things that I spent some time on the weekend with people with the ayahuasca, making sure that you get your intent straight, get your, and you're not going to fool yourself. You're the only one that can deceive yourself, but only because you'll allow it. I just don't allow myself to deceive myself. For me, when I say I want ripped, stripped, and cleaned, I mean that. Whatever it takes to make me the better servant of servants, to get me in that position of full acceptance is where I'm going. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
That's the double crucifixion. That's really looking within.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot fool. You can fool yourself, but when you're fooling yourself, because that little feeling goes.
You're kidding yourself.
Yeah,
kidding.
And you hear that little voice in your head says, you know, you think this, and then your little voice says, yeah, you're so full of shit. You're so full of shit. Why don't
you've been reading my mail, Kate.
Yeah, why don't you actually get honest with yourself for a change? That's the handy part about the ego, because it's logical and it can't help it. Evil will destroy itself. So I just let it. I just push it, help it along. You know, so it's all good. Anyway, we got 2 minutes until we roll out here, guys. Just want to say a great big thank you and a reminder that we're back on in 4 hours, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, midnight Greenwich Mean Time, UK time. And, of course, different times around the world, but right now it's noon somewhere. It's always noon somewhere at all points of the day. So what is time? That's right, it's an illusion, so get out of that stuff. Babylon is fallen, not will fall or has fallen. It is in my now. Is fallen. Bye-bye. Just like that. So, another great big thank you to criticalmassradio.co.uk. Pop by the website if you can help out. Great. Great help is to get the word out, and that's probably the most powerful help you can do is to get the word out. Make a point of it. Get the word out. If you find at this table the things that you need to find at this table, then quit being a selfish asshole and share it with everybody. Or you can be another one of those born-again Christians and holier than thou. I save me, fuck everybody else. Well, the universe is going to look at you and go, really? Okay, well, let's have a little look at that. No. Get your intention for all of humanity, and as soon as you do, you'll see. There are no words to describe what you'll see. You'll see what I see. And it's beyond perfection. It's beyond bliss, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. It's that simple. So any final words here, guys, before we roll out and get Ben on? Don't forget, Ben's coming on in 15 minutes, and hang out for some tunes and some good old banter around the table with Ben, and from there, I'm good to go here. Any last words, Mark, Peter?
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
Beautiful, Kate. Beautiful sentiments as always, and just like to say I love you all, and I love myself, and I love my son Stephen. So I just like to say happy birthday to Stephen again, and we'll all be united in love. We all are united in love, I'd say. So, and I'll talk to you later.
There we go, right in the now with that one. Yes, I love you all no matter what. And just as importantly, no greater or lesser, I will love myself no matter what.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Much love, and we'll catch you in 4 hours and 15 minutes. So much love to everybody, and we'll catch you on the next table chat. Be good at it.
See you later. See you, Mark.
Later. Thanks, guys, for jumping in. It's been a great chat, as always. Take care, and I got to do the rollout thing here. I'm so nuts. Where is it? There it is. Here we go. Love you guys.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
No matter what.
No matter what. Love you guys. Later. Perfect. Yeah. See, we're on the same consciousness. You said the no matter what, where I was. Perfect. Love you. No matter what. Later. If you think being drained, your soul being drained and all of your life source and, giving full access to others to just come and rape and pillage you is a good idea, well, then keep using the legal name. I was trying to think of a way to explain this where people could really, really let this sink in. So I'm going to try to play the devil's advocate here. All I need to do is get you to admit to being something that I know controls you. And I'm the one holding the control, okay? Just keep this in mind. I'm the one holding the control. This is kind of the way I'm going to describe this metaphorically. So I'm the one holding all of the control, and all I need to do is get you to agree to one thing, which gives me full access. It's your spirit, soul, whatever you want to refer to your consciousness as, this is your the password to be able to get in and drain you. How willing would you be to give me that password? I would say probably not at all. That's what the legal name is. It's a password to your soul. And the mere fact that you consent to use it, and I'm talking in paper sense here. Remember, separate things from the living and the dead paper world, okay? Excuse me, this is the paper sea, the holy sea, that's full of holes. Know the difference. If the name is on a piece of paper, it is not you. So stop thinking that it is, because the mere fact that you think that it is, thanks. I'm going to use that password and I'm going to drain your soul into oblivion. How do you like me now? You want to stop doing that maybe? It's a good thing I'm benevolent because I'm not interested in that. But that's exactly what the legal name is in terms of the ethereal soul trap. The legal name...
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this shiny little orb we call Earth. Hello, welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you. Of course I'm live. I have no legal name. criticalmassradio.co.uk. And here we are on the 2 for Tuesday for the first show, first table setting. And always an interesting day, these Tuesdays, because you get an opportunity to kind of do a sum up of things and what have you. I'm at a point now where on Tuesdays I really don't know what to say, especially in the early show, because, well, other than not being awake for too long, you know, I actually spend a lot of time in the wee hours where it's the quietest for me to contemplate things. So I don't typically arise too early, as in the 7 or 8 a.m. I'm usually up by around 9 or 10, though. But anyway, sometimes a little later. Just depends on how late I was up the night before. Sometimes till 5 or 6 in the morning, and that's not because I want to be. It's just because that's where I am. But anyway, enough all about me. Won't you get a load of me? How about you? Let's talk about you, because you're perfect. That's what I like talking about. Let me see. Where do I want to go? That's right. I was on Facebook. I just seen a share by Wayne here. I just want to get into this. We're going to really nail a couple of things home today, I think, with regards to those that might want to gather in large groups, say as protesters or demonstrators or whatever the case may be, to get you properly armed up. Yeah, no, you want to do your thing, go do your thing. When you truly know who you are, you know your name, and it's that confusion that keeps people spinning. Learn the difference. It's quite simple. No legal name, no game. The vampires and werewolves can't come into my house. And I'm talking my spiritual temple. They can't rape and pillage and drain off my soul anymore. That's why they're doing crazy things in Vancouver, like wanting to fine homeless people $10,000. Yeah, this is how desperate these guys are. That's a vampire scraping the very bottom of the barrel. Last week it was, drugs and prostitutes being added to the UK economic numbers. That's some serious low ground feeding, don't you think? And what's happening here is more and more of us awaken and recapture our pure soul. Well, you're going to start to see how much power you as a pure soul are giving. And I know there are not that many that fully get this concept, but look at what's happened. The few that have got this concept to this level, the pure, that cannot be fed on any longer, has relegated the system vampires down to the bottom of the barrel almost overnight. So now we're talking, if you can understand the idea of soul energy, the more awake someone is, the more powerful their soul, the more they will get drained unknowingly based on the fact that they don't know who they are, and they've been attached to a curse, if you will, through the Narmer palette using the legal name. You see, everything here is about contract. That which you agree with in thought, you're in contract with. If you think that that's a good idea, then you have accepted it in your reality. Name is a soul trap. It's the one key that locks you into your cage, and it's the one key that opens it, lets you out, so you can turn around and lock the door behind you so that nothing will ever come near you again. And until you start experiencing this magic for yourself, as so many of us have, come to the table anytime. You'll hear people tell their magic stories. And we're not talking the science magic. We're talking the real stuff. We're talking having the eyes to see this reality in such a beautiful way that has been kept from humanity for so very long. We've been kept deluded and duped into thinking magic comes out of science. Oh, look, free energy. Oh, look, anti-grav. Oh, look, UFOs. Oh, look, imagine having an anti-grav vehicle. I'm going to get real literal for a sec here. An anti-grav vehicle. And you travel through time. Right? You pick a point in time and you go to it, and it's people in the Dark Ages. Okay? Just think of, say, medieval England, for example. And you show up with an anti-grav car with your really funky, duds that you're wearing right now. Do you think the people would consider you anything equal? Or maybe they might look at you as being, I don't know, a god. Because you have this magic car that flies around, apparently. But given the awareness that we're at right now, that's all very real, and it's just a physical effect. It's not a cause. The spirit is the cause. The creation aspect is the cause. Sorry, you can't have an anti-grav vehicle without the concept coming from the spirit in the first place. To think of one. And here we are as humanity being, you don't need to protest, you just change the world with your mind, literally. But if you feel the need to drag a physical meat stick around to doing all these different little things, providing more energy for the things that you're fighting, because the illusion is thinking you need to fight, here you might as well take some real truth with you while you're at it. And the real truth being you're not the legal name. So just a little pointer, and I'll get into a bit more detail on this if I have to, really. It's quite simple. If you're going to go out and do any form of protesting, you might as well put on your bulletproof monk armor called Truth by sitting and contemplating for maybe 10 or 15 minutes prior to going out to do these things, and get to the real understanding that you are not the legal name. So leave all your ID and all concepts of that fake paper name behind. And if anyone asks you for a name, of course, it's going to be instantly assumed legal name. Instantly. Someone in a uniform says, I need some ID. Sorry, I don't do the ID thing. I'm not an id entity. I'm actually living. How about I just remind you that I'm standing here in front of you, doofus? How about the fact that anything that I would have in a piece of paper can't talk to you, doofus? So what is the absolute reason as to why you need to get a piece of paper, doofus? And I'm going to tell you, doofus, why? Because without that, you can't get any soul contract payment. That's why you're called commissioned officers, out collecting commissions. Soul raping, basically. Let's just call it what it is. You see, because every time anyone asks for a legal name, specifically asking for a legal name, not be confused with a friend that says, hey, how's it going? And uses that typical calling that is yours, but has been confused with a legal